It's time to get real about real estate. Welcome to International Real Estate Radio with Macarena Rose. We explore all things international real estate. And now, your host, international real estate expert, Macarena Rose.
Happy beautiful day to you wherever in the world you are listening in to International Real Estate Talk. And we have Rachel Adams. Hello, how are you?
I'm so good. Welcome and hello from California.
Woo, so it's like a Belize and a California Keller Williams day, isn't it?
It is. I love it.
So, listeners, I know that we take you to different countries all over the world. And, something that we haven't done a lot of is United States. And Rachel, you obviously are in the United States. So I thought it would be fantastic to spend some time with you. And there's two reasons for that, listeners, because one, a lot of buyers all over the world are buying in the United States, including in National Association of Realtors just came out with another, survey about this, and the statistics are high, and that's a plus. But the big thing for me is, Rachel, you are succeeding in helping people at a high level, and a lot of reasons that people join KW, including ourselves in Belize, was because it is a service and you do help each other, and I think it's fantastic the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's definitely been like a pretty wild ride, I'd say. Like, I'm just approaching my fifth year now. And I was in such a different place before I got in this company. And I always knew I wanted to have personal development, but I didn't know that I would find a real estate company that led with that. And then, by the way, we happen to be in the business of buying and selling houses.
Well, and that's true because, you can work anywhere, but to be able to get personal development and business development in one place and a career in real estate that really is touching people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And touching their lives and making a difference. So please, Rachel, please explain some of the wonderful stuff that you're doing, because I know, but I want to share this with the world. It's exciting.
Well, okay. Yeah, so it's really neat. So now am the CEO of 4 different companies. 3 are real estate related, and 1 is personal, and it's actually a book and a program. And I real estate. I was managing a real estate office, unlicensed, and I'm seeing all these paychecks coming through, and I'm like, man, those are way more than I'm making, and I want one of those. And to be totally transparent, I was actually married in a really unhealthy marriage, and so he was on unemployment and disability, and I was front desk at a real estate office. Well, I wanted to quit my job. My grandma's a real estate broker. My dad's a real estate broker. They were like, go into real estate. And I'm like, no, thanks, guys. I'm going to get a real job. And then I went to the first step of Bold, and I heard a quote that changed my life. And it was, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So the whole time I'm kind of in a scarcity mindset. Like, I can't quit my job. It's safe. I know how much money's coming in. And yet, what if I did shift my mindset to an abundant mindset? There'd be no cap on how much money I can make with commission, and I create my own destiny. So I put my 2 weeks in that day. It was really scary. And do you guys have Bold out there? Do you get that out there yet?
Well, no, not in Belize yet.
Okay. So it's a class where it's mostly sales, but there's a lot of personal development. And what I found early on in my career is that your business grows to the extent that you do. So I really plugged into personal development, like who I wanted to be, the conversations I wanted to have, the conversations I had around me. And I realized getting in the business, like I didn't know. They're talking about a sphere of influence in a database, and I'm like, what the heck is that? But what I did know is that I was driven. So my first year in business, I door knocked 200 doors a week, and I did 13 houses a week for the first 8 months. Crazy. People were like, oh, get ready for blisters. I'm like, I didn't know you meant literally. But I closed 39 deals my first year, and then 109 the next year. And then 123, and that landed me as a top 1,000 agent in the country for the Wall Street Journal. And then I did 135 last year, and then hit top 1,000 again. And so now I'm in my 5th year, and I will tell you, people are like, oh, you're so successful. We see your rise. I'm like, are you joking? It's like this. I'm like, oh, I have a team. Everyone left me. I have a team, So I think it's so important to honestly to take, because sometimes you see somebody on the outside, you see them on Facebook, right? And you think their life is so perfect, they have it all together. They maybe don't even need to lead generate anymore. Deals just flow to them. They just live by referral. And reality is that you could be a mega agent today, but if you stop doing the work and the daily activities that you need to do to bring the clients in, you're no longer a mega agent. So I'm really big on taking it off the stage and bringing it to reality and saying like, listen, this is where I failed. This is where I learned. This is where I grew. This is where I succeeded. And I ended up I have a little bit of untraditional ways. So like last year, 58 transactions I closed were from Facebook. So I do a lot of social media training. Nice. I have a database that I love and I pour into them and they just love me back with referrals and I teach on that. So I ended up taking all my experiences and turning them into a 10-week webinar course. And with live Q&A, we have people in like South Africa doing it and like all over the world. But it's honestly everything I wish I knew when I started. And it's like marketing and brand awareness and like we have a 92% acceptance rate for buyers offers. And it's because we lead with our heart. And it's like, there's just little things I learned along the way that I just want to share.
How lovely you're doing that. So you're really, truly paying it forward from your experience.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And, again, listeners, wherever you are in the world, everyone's going to buy a property, right? But many people do move to other countries and decide they want to do real estate.
Yeah.
So to learn these things and to get it right the first time is sure a lot easier, isn't it?
Heck yeah. I mean, I read the Red Book, Gary Keller, he wrote the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and I read that. And there were some really neat tools in there that I use and I still use. Like if I'm having a question on something, I've learned that it's so much easier to just hop on the wheel instead of trying to reinvent it.
I like that. Hop on the wheel.
Man.
So talk about this. You've definitely hopped on the wheel. You've even written a book. You've co-written a book.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this book.
Oh my gosh. So Keller Williams had heard about me when I had hit top 1,000 in the country and I was like just under 30. And I had gotten the 30 under 30 for National Association of Realtors and some cool stuff happened. So I was on their radar, or nominated rather. And they said, hey, why don't you come out to Keller Williams? We're shooting a commercial and you can inspire young agents on how to build a business. And I was, at this point, I'm coaching all around the US, teaching people how to build a business and work on mindset. So I know that I'm teaching, I'm going to be interviewed by Nina Rowan Heller, who is Chris Heller, our CEO's wife, but also an international health and wellness coach. So she coaches like Matthew McConaughey and the founders of Microsoft, and she's this big deal. So I go to fly out to meet her, and on the outside, things looked perfect in my world. I had the perfect car, the perfect social life, the perfect job. But what people didn't know is that in that 3 years it took me to hit top 1,000, I'd gotten a divorce that I never dealt with. I gained about 32 pounds, and I'm putting everybody else's needs in front of my own, like family, friends, clients, you name it. So I go to Texas to shoot this commercial. I have, hair and makeup done, the most serious Paris Spanx you can find, like suck it all in. And I go to sit down with Nina, and I'm used to interviews. So people ask me about my career, and I'm like, well, I did this, and I did this, and I did. And I'm interviewing with Nina, and she's like, and how did that make you feel? And I'm like, feel? I mean, bumps and bruises, but you do what you do, like high-pitched voice. And we keep talking, and she's like, and how did that make you feel? And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And seriously, she ends up asking the camera crew to step outside. And I'm like, what is going on?
Wow.
And she takes my hand. Amazing. I mean, the fact that she was willing to do this to me still blows my mind. She took my hand and she said, Rachel, have you ever heard that your video isn't matching your audio? And I'm like, what? And she's like, what you say you're doing, like, I don't know if you're actually doing. And I was like, I mean, I didn't even know what to say. And she's like, sweetie, what's really going on here? And it's like on this workout bench in Texas with hair and makeup, I burst into tears. And I have makeup streaming down my face. And I just said, Nina, I got a divorce and I've never dealt with it. And I work so hard for this image of perfection, but I'm tired. and I don't even know what it is. And now that I'm like financially, I'm comfortable, but I'm empty. And I was like, why am I doing all this? And it was the most amazing conversation. So we ended up having this 2-hour conversation about what my life could look like if I truly led it with authenticity and intention. So authenticity and intention. I'm not kidding. She sent me home. I never shot the commercial. I cried for 2 days.
Wow.
But then I have this moment and I'm sitting, like people say like, oh, it brought me to my knees. I'm literally on my knees crying in my living room. And I remember having this moment where I like look up to God and I'm like, what is my purpose? I know I'm meant for something, but what is it? Like, I need you to guide me. And it was that moment where I realized like, and at that point I had maybe like 20,000 followers on social media and I, was very honest, or I thought honest, but I'm like, I realized it's one thing to be honest with everyone else, but it's totally another thing to be honest with me. Wow. So it was a big deal. So I decided for 90 days, I was going to remove my 2 biggest distractions, anything that I felt was holding me back from being the best version of myself. And it ended up being dating and drinking.
2.
So 2. Yeah. I had like 3 I was like Match, eHarmony, Tinder, like you know what I mean? I had all these different apps on my phone. And then I also was, having wine like 3 or 4 nights a week, happy hours, whatever. And it's like, you can have really good intentions about what you're going to eat. But like, if I have a couple glasses of wine in me, like we are having cheesecake.
Oh, so the 2 go together.
Yeah. And so I decided, I just looked at my life and I almost did like a life audit and I realized there were things in my life and people in my life that weren't serving me. And for 90 days, I was just going to commit to a really high level of like self-awareness and listening to myself. And oh my gosh, like so many things changed for me. I started like it was interesting because it was like, I did one good decision, which I'm going to take out drinking for 90 days and then, and dating. Right. And then I was like, well, now that I feel good in the morning, maybe I don't want to commit to a workout routine that I'm going to say I'm going to start and stop. So I'm like, I'm just going to do 25 sit-ups and 10 lunges every morning. So it was like one good decision, then another good decision. Then I'm like, well, I feel pretty good. I always put coffee in my body first. Maybe I'll do a glass of water first. Another good decision. Then I'm like, maybe I'll start meal prepping. Then I start exercising. Then I started journaling. Then I started meditating. Then I edited my peer group, the people I surrounded myself with. That was not easy.
You edited your peer group. I like that phrase.
Yeah. Yeah. And that can be tough, really difficult sometimes. But when you get really intentional about how you're leading your life and the person you want to become, it gets a lot easier. Because you realize, like I always say, like that the right people come into your life and the right people also leave your life. It's not the wrong people leaving your life. They don't align with who you are anymore. So I was on this huge mission and I was just really intentional about my life. And on day like 69 of the 90, I went to Orlando for like family reunion. I'm walking down a hall and I see Nina and she's like, Rachel? She's like, oh my God, what happened to you? So I'm like 25 pounds lighter and my skin's glowing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like you happened to me. And she's like, we have to talk about this. And so we ended up getting together and she flew me down to their beach house in San Diego. And she has 25 years experience with all these amazing celebrities and people. And I had the story. So we got together and we ended up writing a book, and it's called Lost to Found in 90 Days, Your Journey to Self-Discovery and Ultimate Happiness.
Oh, I love it.
It's cool. There's 12 chapters, and each chapter is something I went through. And then the second part of each chapter is workbook style that Nina wrote for the reader to do work. So it's like your story and your big why, nutrition and fuel, exercise and sleep, meditation and spirituality, relationship standards and allies. That was the hardest one for me because I admitted to everybody I had gotten a divorce. But the book did so well that now it's an entire program. So there's like like a really cool app on your phone where you can track like your water, your foods, your workouts. There's, oh my gosh, there's a t-shirt, there's a Facebook community, there's a 90-day program where everyone is going through the same things you are each week. And it's in videos and like it's, the testimonials we're getting, they just make me cry. I cry on the regular basis now.
How phenomenal for you to take your pain,
Yeah.
the roller coasters of your learning, right? And
Yeah.
share it with other people, and for her
Yeah.
to then to take it and do workbooks and training, it puts it all
Yeah.
together for sure.
Yeah, and it's been interesting because like I have, I'm still in production. I'm the lead listing agent on my team, but my MAPS coaching program that I do through real estate, like I get to help people in that arena become better realtors, become more productive. The goal is to get you into production faster, or if you're in production and you want like a fresh start, or you want to learn social media or listings, whatever, that's there for you. And then with Lost to Found, it's this personal development side where it's really like working on you from the inside out. And it's not a weight loss program, but every person that does it ends up losing a pretty serious amount of weight, because you're just the one small decision with another good decision with it. It's the compound effect.
It's just how empowering that is for you, I think, to see you be able to help other people
Yeah. Yeah.
transform. And for example, Nina saw you in the hallway and knew that there was a difference. You're right.
I
The
know.
spirit and when you're fully present and you're authentic, the
Yeah.
spirit and nothing can be hidden, right? And people that are very
Yeah.
clear and authentic themselves see it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you see that in others.
I do, yeah. And so it's neat because we actually at Family Reunion, we had a little meetup with my coaching group. And I was like, anyone who's been my client can come to this. And we had one woman who was like, your class changed my marriage. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I made the decision to stop drinking soda. That was one of my distractions. And I was like, okay. She's like, and we had a rule because she has kids that when we went out to eat, they could drink soda. So because she wasn't drinking soda, they were home more and they were cooking dinner as a family. And the wife in this 90 days, she started losing weight and getting confidence. And then she and her husband started flirting, and the kids were having so much fun seeing their parents so happy. They didn't want to eat out anymore. And I always get emotional, but it's like the fact that something that I went through can help someone to that degree, and not to mention her business doubled like that because she was like, she's like, I started doing social media because I give like a whole business model for how you use Facebook and referrals. And I have a value campaign for your database and just different things. But man, it's a whole nother angle that I never even thought would happen. And it's beautiful. You never know where life's going to go, but it's about being open to receiving it. And knowing that like the uncomfortable stuff, like that's the good stuff.
It's the meat that gets you through things.
Yeah.
But you are a unique woman in that you took that and did something powerful with it. And the fact that you're paying it forward to help other people really speaks volumes for you and your spirit.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being you.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing you and your wisdom. I can't wait till you come to Belize and help us.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
That would be very fun. We can do
Yeah,
a
it'd be
book
really
tour.
good.
We'll do a book tour in Belize.
Done. I'm in.
We'll have to. You and I are very good at time blocking and making that. We'll have to figure that one out, won't we?
Totally. Well,
Please.
And one of the things I talk a lot about is like the setting boundaries. I think one of the things, like you and I talked a lot earlier about time blocking and stuff. One of the things that I teach my agents to do is being really intentional about setting boundaries. So like, for example, we sit down with our buyers and we talk to them about the home buying experience. And, I always say, how early can I call you and how late can I call you? Like around. So I ask them first. I lead with them. And they're like, well, I wake up at, 8:00, get ready. I go to work around 9. And then they get the kids ready for dinner at 6. So probably around 7. I'm like, oh, okay. So your boundaries are 9 in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. They're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, that's so funny. That's my boundaries too. So then what happens is I'm setting the boundary, right? They go home, they set up their portal. They're so excited. They're popping open a bottle of wine and they're looking at houses. It's 9 at night. And then I find the house. And they're like, oh my, I have to text Rachel. I found the house. So if they text me at 9:30 and I text them back, I've now set my new boundary at 9:30 at night. And so it's like, if I don't respect my boundaries, how can I expect them to,
It's true.
And so I got really intentional about boundaries, and then time blocking. I think one of the biggest things with this sucker right here is we tend to be like, we all have good intentions about lead generating and talking to clients and are working with our database, but life shows up sometimes and it can knock you off your game. And so what I realized is that real estate is a reactive business. We are like handling the appraisal, talking to the title company, like we are home inspections. We are reacting to the world around us. And my world shifted. My business really, really took a turn once I got proactive about my time blocking. So proactive versus reactive. That means this sucker is upside down. It is not, when I'm talking to you, it's away. So I'm not being distracted by it. Facebook notifications are off. Like, you have to be so crystal clear about being proactive versus reactive, because the world is, we're in a sales business. There's always going to be someone who needs us, someone who wants us, someone who's going to pull us away from what we should be doing. If you really want your business to grow, you have to be willing to time block and time block effectively.
That is very key. It's something that we were speaking with the agents actually in Belize about, is that the time blocking.
Yeah.
If you don't do it, someone's going to do it for you.
100%.
And you want to be in control of that, right?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
For example, nothing was more important than having this time right now with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no one's going to be coming knocking or disturbing that. So, I know that we haven't really touched a lot on international real estate, but see, what the show does is we speak with people so that way they become the best you wherever the world they move to. Because I've noticed after helping, 16 years now of helping people move all over the world, that oftentimes they think a new country or a new place is going to change something. And as you know, it's kind of like dating someone else, and, you take yourself with you. If you're not okay, that next person's not going to be okay. And really the right person shows up when you get your stuff together, right?
100%. Yeah. It's funny too, because people think like I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to get another thing so I attract the right person. And my reality was that when I finally was living in my authentic self and doing things for me, that's when I attracted. So I'm getting married in June this year.
June,
and
congratulations.
Yeah, so fun. You have to look on Facebook. I just posted my wedding heels. They're ridiculous. They're so pretty. But we're getting married actually in Mexico. And Ryan is the list that I wanted. He is every character trait. He is how I wanted people to treat someone. Like, he is my perfect match. But I don't think I would have been ready for him before the 90-day journey, because I wasn't the woman I needed to be for me to attract someone like him. And so it was really interesting. 3 months after the book was published, I met him.
Wow.
Yeah.
God works in mysterious, magical, beautiful ways.
So good. So good.
Oh, so you're going to soon be a blushing bride.
Oh my gosh. So blushing.
How phenomenal.
I'm excited. Yeah, he's such a good guy.
Well, God bless you for having the positive experiences that you obviously very well deserve and worked hard for. And it is, again, being the best you possible really allows the best things to come to you. And then you feel as though, it's almost as though you attract them because you've worked hard and you deserve it. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
Please share the title of the book again, and where can they find it?
Yeah, so the book is called Lost to Found in 90 Days, Your Journey to Self-Discovery and Ultimate Happiness. And for that, you would go to www.losttofound90.com, and it's the number 2 and the number 90. And then if you're interested in my real estate coaching program, you would go to www.limitedtolegendary.com, and that's T-O.
That's T-O. Thank you for sharing all that information. Rachel Adams, I want to have you on the show again. We're going to do another one. We'll do a follow-up one because I have an idea that I will throw past you that I think for another show. Listeners, thank you so much for, as always, tuning in. Rachel Adams, you're a doll. May the rest of your day be the best of your day.
You as well. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Abrazos from Belize.